English with deck. Well, it's one of those days, in it. Just one of those days. Yeah. Lacking a wee bit of motivation today, but no complaints. Ayo, ayo. All that jazz. Yeah. Now, today, I want to just talk about meeting an old friend. It's always good to have a catch up, especially when you've not seen that friend since 2019. Alright, guys, it's Deck here from Deck English with another episode of English with Deck. Let's go. So, yeah, basically, this friend is originally my wife's friend, but when we lived in a hostel in Australia, a youth hostel in Australia. This French friend also lived there too. She left a little bit before me and my wife left the hostel, but obviously my wife was quite close to her, and I was as well. And she's an absolutely lovely, really, really kind person. So funny, full of life, really intelligent. But you know, that was in 2019. 2019. That feels like a different life now when you think about it. You know? 2019. I'm recording this episode on, what's the date today? On the 15th of June 2026. Wow. And the last time I would have seen her was sometime in 2019. So that is, well, 7 years ago. That took me a bit too long than it should have done. Yeah, about 7 years ago. Oh, hang on. Whoa, I've been in Japan now for around 7 years as well. Huh. Yeah, because I came into Japan in June 2019. Huh. Oh, look at that. That's an interesting coinky dink, isn't it? If you haven't heard what a coinky dink is, it's just a playful way of saying coincidence. Okay, where were we? Yeah, 2019. And, that feels like a whole different world now. So many of things have happened on a global scale. So many things have happened personally. You know, well, of course, for me, since then I've had, well, two daughters, and as a global nation, we've had, well, COVID, we've had various political incidents, various political scandals, various wars break out, and on the plus side, of course, many, many positive things have happened in sports, environmentally, you name it. There is an honestly an innumerable amount of things which have happened since 2019. In fact, I don't know if I'm just getting older, but I do feel the past 7 years, when you're talking on a global scale, have been bloody busy. But let's get away from all this heavy topic stuff and back to the friendships. Now, you know, international friendships are quite interesting. You meet someone in one country, and then you say goodbye and you carry on with your life. Life goes on day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year. And then suddenly you meet each other again, somewhere completely different, aged and wiser, older and wiser, that's the phrase, older and wiser. Haha, definitely wiser, me. So we in Australia in 2019, Japan in 2026. Same people, completely different chapters in life. It's fascinating, isn't it? And with some friends, when you meet up after a long period of time, it can feel odd. Not different, not awkward, just a little bit odd, It doesn't feel quite the same as it did. Of course, you have a good catch up, you talk about life, work, family, all the usual stuff. But there's other people who you catch up with, and it just feels, right. It feels like you can sort of pick up where you left off. And that's interesting because it feels like the gap was not actually that big. It wasn't a 7 year gap. Maybe it only feels like a 1 year or so. You know, I think meeting people overseas when you're both in the overseas situation, when you're both out of your comfort zone completely, it really opens you up emotionally. And I'm not making this a whole sort of spiritual or really special heartwarming episode. Oh, no, no. I'm just meaning that when you are living away from your home country or away from home, let's keep it simple, away from home, sometimes it feels a little bit emotional. So when you strike up a good friendship, you make some new mates, you develop a closeness that you wouldn't always have had you stayed at home. And that's why, well, people move around, people change countries, people disappear for years, not because of anything bad, but just because life gets busy, etc. And then when you meet again, it feels quite special. And it really reminds me that the ability to travel and the opportunity to travel, especially when you're a little younger, you know. But when I say younger, I mean older teenager, 20 years old, 30 years old. Yeah, of course, any age, but especially in those periods of your life, it's really important to, if you can, you should do it. If you have the opportunity, you should try it. You can always look back on it and say, I tried it. But if you look back and say, I should have, well, which one makes you feel more satisfied at the end of the day? Because the other day, I was in, Kagawa, a city in Kagawa, with my friend who I met in Australia, who is originally from France, and we met in Australia. And I would never ever have imagined that when I was living in England. And that is special in itself. So, hey guys, don't turn an opportunity down. Don't turn your nose up at every opportunity that comes your way. And remember, English doesn't have to be difficult.